What if Turkey lost its independence war? The Ottoman Empire famously joined the Central Powers in the First World War, and like their Bulgarian, Austro-Hungarian and German counterparts, they lost the war and had to sign the Treaty of Sevres that would see them make huge territorial concessions. The Turks, unhappy with this, rose up under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Pasha and successfully drove out the Armenians, Greeks, French, and British, and founded the Republic of Turkey in 1923 after abolishing the Ottoman Empire in 1922, and its first president was Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. But what if that didn't happen? What if Turkey lost its independence war? In this timeline, the Turks lose the Battle of Sakarya, and the Greeks capture Ankara. Soon later, the uprising ends. The Ankara government was abolished with the Ottomans reinstated. The British, French, and Italian occupation zones in the south were transferred into colonies, namely British Kurdistan, French Cilicia, and Italian Rum. Meanwhile, Wilsonian Armenia is split between British Kurdistan and the Ottoman Empire, as Armenia is still annexed into the Soviet Union. Given that the Ottoman Empire was from 1920 to 1922 an absolute monarchy, this probably remains as such. In 1926, Mehmet VI dies and Abdülmecid II becomes Sultan of the Sublime Ottoman State. Just 3 years into his reign, the Great Depression starts, which just puts more pressure on the Ottoman economy. This sparked major protests, and he had to give in, and a constitution is signed that reinstates the General Assembly. In 1939, the Second World War still breaks out over the invasion of Poland. After the fall of Denmark, Norway, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France, Italy too joins the war, and with Italy having a colony in the Middle East, they invest more into the Syrian campaign, with the Afrika Korps being split into an Afrika Korps under Erwin Rommel, and now Ostkorps under Ludwig Cruel. In 1941, Germany still invades the Soviet Union and loses in Moscow, and Japan bombs Pearl Harbor, while the British have pushed the Italians out of Syria and most of Cilicia. The Ottomans realized who will win this war, and so launched a massive invasion into Italian Rum, and in just a few days captured its capital in Konya, and in the end the Italians evacuate in Antalya and Smyrna. The Ottomans also aid the besieged Brits in Constantinople. In this timeline, they don't launch their initial invasion into Italy, but the Balkans. They land in Gallipoli, but this time successfully, and encircle the Germans besieging Constantinople, who then have to surrender. Bulgaria then switches sides, followed by Romania. Together with the Romanians and Soviets, they destroy Army Group South. The British liberate Greece, and with the Chetniks they also liberate Yugoslavia, and they push into Hungary and Slovakia. In 1944 they land in Normandy and liberate France, and by 1945, after the Battle of Berlin, Germany surrenders. The Allies then invade Italy, and the Italians overthrow Mussolini. Unlike in our own timeline, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Yugoslavia, Romania, Bulgaria, and Albania are under firm Allied control and join NATO instead of the Warsaw Pact/remain neutral. The Warsaw Pact only consists of the Soviet Union, Poland, and East Germany. From the fall of the Italian Empire, the Ottoman Empire annexes most of Rum, while Greece gets its Aegean coastline and Decans. This enlarged the Ottoman Empire massively, and they now a port in the Mediterranean Sea, namely in Antalya. In 1946, Frankfurt, Lebanon, and Syria gain independence, and so does French Cilicia. Given that it is majority Turkish, it holds a referendum whether to join the Ottoman Empire or remain independent, with the vast majority of people voting in favor of joining the Ottoman Empire. In just 2 years, the Ottoman Empire has more than doubled its land area. In 1953, Abdülmecid II dies, and his son Sefsaid Omar Faruk becomes Sultan as Omar I. After the Suez Crisis, it has become apparent that the United Kingdom can't hold on to its power, and the Constantinople Treaty is signed. The United Kingdom stops occupying the Marmara Zone, but keeps its army, naval, and air bases. Soon later, this treaty was extended to also include American army, naval, and air bases. This angered Greece, as they always hoped to get Constantinople, but this went nowhere. This, coupled with the Ottomans still invading Cyprus, could spark a war between these two NATO members. This war would probably be won by the Ottoman Empire, and the Greeks would have to return Smyrna, and would be pushed to the Marisa. However, that war is extremely unlikely to escalate outside of Cyprus, and even if it does, it would end quickly with a negotiated peace by NATO. In 1969 Omar Farouk dies, and since he had no son, the son of his first daughter Fatma Neslizo Abbas Hili is crowned as Abbas I. It is possible, but not guaranteed, that the Ottoman Empire may invade Kurdistan. Unlike with the Republic of Turkey, the military here has far less influence, and won't just coup governments regularly. I already mentioned that in the Great Depression the General Assembly was reinstated, but in 1982 another amendment was made making the Grand Vizier an elected position. In 1991 the Soviet Union still collapses and East Germany reunifies with the West, and in 1999 Poland joins NATO, followed by the Baltics in 2002, and Finland and Sweden in 2023. In 2011 the Syrian civil war still breaks out, and the Ottoman Empire would in 2016 annex the majority Turkish north, but this probably wouldn't be recognized by the international community. As I just previously stated, the military has far less power, and so they don't attempt a coup in 2016. This results in Grand Vizier Recep Tayyip not having the opportunity to change the constitution into one that gives him more power. This results in him only being able to run for 2 terms, and so in 2023 Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu of the Ottoman People's Party wins the presidential election against Fuat Oktay of the Justice and Development Party. In this timeline, the Turkey wouldn't regain its territories by 1923 but would slowly regain most of these territories bearing Kurdistan, East Thrace and its Aegean coastline. Turkey is also more liberal and, despite of being led by a religious leader, more secular in this timeline. If you liked the episode, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.